The wilderness, not somewhere you'll often find in Ultimate Iron Man. And why, you might ask? With banking out of the question, Ultimates are forced to carry nearly all of their wealth with them at all times. Death is particularly punishing for UIMs as well. Whereas other account types retain their 3 most valuable items on death, this isn't true for Ultimate Iron Man. If we manage to die, whether it's to a PKer or to a monster, we lose everything. Always. As if that wasn't bad enough, the Protect item prayer doesn't work for UIMs. +1s are not a luxury that we're granted. So with these punishing mechanics in place, we're left with 2 choices. Brave the wilderness while risking all of our wealth, or get creative. And dude, there's no way I'm risking 1.5 bill, so you better believe I'm about to get real out of the box. Before I head into some of the wilderness's biggest PK hotspots, let's talk goals, of which there are 2. The first, complete the Wilderness Elite Diary and knock out the Wilderness Combat achievements. Most of the tasks that I've left involve either the Wildy demi-bosses or the big bad boys themselves. With the Wilderness boss rework on the horizon, I have to step up and knock these tasks out now before the Wildy is absolutely flooded with PKers and completing these tasks becomes exponentially more difficult. To reduce my risk, I'll be leveraging a mechanic known as death piling. This involves dying to an NPC such that all of my items drop to the ground, where they'll remain for 60 minutes. In this hour, I can take a trip to the wilderness, complete as much as possible, and then return to pick up my items before the spawn timer ticks down to 0. While this does keep me safe from risking my items to PKers, if I mistime my death pile spawn by even a few minutes, my 1.5 billion in items could be lost, setting me back thousands of hours. Sounds easy enough, right? Let's get started. First up is a Wilderness Elite task. Kill each of the big wilderness bosses 1 time. Oh, and I've never done any of these bosses ever, so this is going to be interesting. Now that all my stuff's on the ground, I'll be gearing up, which for now is just going to be some black D-hide, rune arrows, and a magic shortbow. I'm also going to be bringing thralls to all of the wildy bosses, which due to their high defense bonuses is an insane DPS increase, and I really can't recommend thralls highly enough. Alright, well I realize I definitely just accidentally wiped my seed box that was in my Hispori bank, and I can't believe that I forgot that. Thankfully, it was really just the box and a handful of seeds, but that is still kind of annoying. It's fine. I would have had to clear it for Raids 3 anyway, so I didn't actually lose too much value. In case you're out of the loop, the wildy bosses are kind of weird. You don't fight them like most bosses. You safe spot them. I'll be starting with Venenatis, for which there are 3 main safe spots, the north, central, and south locations. Each has pros and cons, but I'll be choosing the south spot because it's relatively easy to set up and allows me to insta-telly out since it's in level 25 wildy. This isn't a guide, but here's the general idea of how this works. You have to aggro the spider and lure him to around tile 0, and then you run to tile 1. Then you run to tile 2, you have to walk to tile 3, and then you can walk or run to tile 4, and once you're at tile 4, you start stepping under the spider. You want him to path to the west, which is completely RNG. If he does move to the west, great, then you go to tile 5, hit the spider, and run to tile 6. Finally, you can fight him. Now, if he didn't path to the west on step 4, you might have to run back to tile 1 and start all over. Sounds fun, right? Well, it's definitely not. Two hours later. Alright, the spooky spider is finally down. That is step 1 of 3 for this wildy task. Next, I'll be moving on to Callisto. The not-so-friendly bear is going to be done with a very similar setup. I'll be using a dragon mace as my primary weapon, along with the magic longbow due to its 100% accuracy special attack. But the true MVPs here are my thralls, as they're going to be doing most of the damage. Just like Venenatis, Callisto has a few different safe spots. I'm going to be opting for the western safe spot as it's checked a little bit less by PKers and it's relatively easy to set up. To set this safe spot up, first shoot Callisto with a magic longbow to get aggro and then run to tile 1. As soon as Callisto appears on your screen, run to tile 2. Once he stops, shoot him once and run to the marked tile here. And just like Venenatis, you want him to path to the west. If he doesn't, you might have to go back to tile 2 and try again. If he does go west, run around, not through him, to the final marked tile, and now he's safe spotted. Also, don't forget your anti-poison like I did. Okay, after about 10 minutes of my thrall smacking this dude, I am 2 out of 3 bosses down. Next up is Vedion, and he might be a little bit rough. Unlike Callisto and Venenatis that see a modest amount of PKers, Vedion has got to be one of the most checked locations in the entire wilderness. You're almost always in combat with either his Hellhound minions or those freaking Chaos Dwarves, so logging out isn't usually an option, and it is a jog to get down to 30 wildy to be able to teleport out. Vedion is at least easy to set up. First, grab his attention and then run to tile 1. Once he stops moving, run all the way down to tile 2, and when he reaches tile 3, you are also going to run to tile 3 and hope that he paths to the east. If he does, just step over to the marked line and you're good. You can navigate north and south on that marked line, but if he doesn't, you might have to run back either to tile 1 or to tile 2 to try again. With that KC, I finished the biggest Wilderness Elite task that I've been procrastinating for years at this point. And now that I know how to do the bosses, I'm going to go ahead and knock out 20 KC of each of them for the combat achievements. There's 20 KC for Vedion, that was much worse than I expected, 20 KC for Callisto, and finally 20 KC for Venenatis. With those big combat achievements done, I want to share some wildy boss stats with you. Venenatis was the best experience. I saw 3 PKers and was PK'd just 1 time. Callisto was a close second. With him, I saw 5 PKers and was PK'd 3 times. And then Vedion. I saw 15 PKers and was PK'd 11 times. Honestly, I don't know how the wildy hardcores do it. You can barely get a kill without seeing a PKer there. Editing this video, the wildy PTSD is kicking in full swing, so if you could help ease my pain by leaving me a like and double checking that you're subbed for more UIM content, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Wrapping up my Chaos LAKC now, honestly, that grind was pretty chill, and I only saw 1 PKer the entire time, which I just logged out from. So now I want to tackle some of KBD's combat achievements, so I'm going to go ahead and gear up for that and head over there. If you look very closely, you might realize that this is in fact not the King Black Dragon. And the reason for that is because I realized that I still had Lantid items in herb form, they were not in anti-fires, and I have a few different herb stacks that I need to work through, so I'm going to make the anti-fires and other potions, and then I will make my way back to the wilderness. This is something that only UIMs have to stress over, but I'm walking over to the Taverley dungeon to collect some blue dragon scale dusk in order to make my anti-fire potions. Now, I have a bunch of items stored at Hispori right now, a lot of which I can't pull out because I'm going to need them in order to finish my potion making process. But the thing is, this is the only way to get Blue Dragon Scale Dust on an Iron Man. We can't use Nightmare Zone, and there's always the chance that you could DC at Blue Dragons, and of course if you're death banked, well, that means that you lose absolutely everything. So I pulled out as much as I could in armor, I shoved as much as I could into my looting bag, and of course I threw on the defense cape, which has the Ring of Life effect in case I drop below 10 HP. I also have the Blood Fury and Auto Retaliate on. This is all very paranoid, but that's exactly how you have to play as a UIM if you don't want to wipe. Ladies and gentlemen, we live to see another day. The anti-fires are made. Last thing I need to do is make some super combat potions. Let's see if we can figure out a way to do it, making like 3 at a time. Alright, I brought the main over to knock out one of the last achievement diary tasks from the hard tier, which is casting a god spell against another player in the wilderness. So with the main positioned outside, let me go ahead and hopefully I don't splash. Flames of Zamorak, attack, and there we go, there's hard task completed, and now I can gear myself up, and I think I'm going to try to go grab a Scorpia KC real quick. Okay, in classic me fashion, I probably did not think this one all the way through. I completely forgot to bring potions, and what I'm going to be relying on here is Faldor Shield 3 to restore my prayer, and an Explorer's Ring to regen my run energy. Only 2 charges, by the way, because I have not completed the hard tier of the Lumbridge Diaries. Okay, don't at me, bro. I'm going to grab some food. All I'm looking for is 1 Scorpia KC, so I'm hoping that this will be enough. And if I can get that one Scorpia KC, then we'll quickly knock out the Crazy Archaeologist and the Chaos Fanatic and round out the Hard Diaries for the Wilderness. I'm going to be sneaky and pull the lever from Ardoin because I don't want anyone in Edgeville to see me geared up in this mage gear with a skull on and realize that I'm going to Scorpia. So we're going to do a little Rat Pits telly. Now that I think about it, I actually have the telly in my POH, but it's too late. So let's go to Ardoin. We'll pull the lever, make our way over to the lair, and this could go tremendously or this could go terribly because I've actually never done a single Scorpia KC in my entire life. So far, so good. I'm going to stand up here and let my run restore, and I'll actually walk over to the side. Hopefully no PKers that are hopping around will be able to spot me. Can you peek in the cave? I'm not seeing any peek options, unfortunately, so we'll just kind of YOLO in and hope that nobody's in there. Here we go, and I just realized that I did not remember to bring an anti-poison either, so I'm about as unprepared as you can get, and let's see how this goes. Cool, poisoned immediately. And there's no boss. Why is there no boss? Why the heck is there no boss? Was someone here? And they're banking? That's not good. I should probably hop worlds. Oh, okay, too late. We're in it. Come on, give me the 1KC. There it is, I think. All right, cool. Oh, and we got a combat task. I'll take that. Oh god, let's bippity bop out of here, get the poison cured, and move on to the next thing. I think if I hurry, I can get a Crazy Archaeologist KC in before my death pile resets. Nothing like doing wilderness content on a Saturday night, by the way. I literally couldn't have picked a worse day and time to do this, but YOLO, right? 2 down, 1 to go. The trick's gonna be getting past the Chaos Altar without seeing any PKers. That must be like the biggest hotspot in the wilderness. Or the Hard Diary completion! Is that it? Is he down? Ooh, even got the looting bag. All right, hard tier completed. Let me hightail it out of here. I've had enough of the wilderness. Granted, I literally have to come right back to do KBD tomorrow, but I am going to take a well-deserved rest. Let's collect the reward that we worked so hard for. Should have a Wilderness Sword 3 equipped with the ability to teleport to the Fountain of Rune, but more importantly, an antique lamp, which is going to go right onto Herblore. Throw everything onto Herblore, gets us a little bit closer to 92. There's my alarm for my looting bag. We're calling it there. The primary KBD task that I was trying to knock out was 10 KC in one trip, within a private instance. I figured that with max combats, brews, and a DSim, that would be pretty easy, but I was wrong and I walked away with just 3 KC that trip. I might have to consult the scientists at Solo Mission HQ and come back with a better plan later. I decided that the KBD is going to get put off for a little bit. It's the wildy boss that I'm least concerned about because its layer's not actually in the wildy. It's just a short run to the actual layer. So even when the wildy gets reworked, I'm not that concerned about it. But the other wildy bosses, I do want to knock out their hard tasks. So I think that's what I'm going to tackle next, starting with the Crazy Archaeologist. It's currently Saturday and mid-Saturday at that, so I'm expecting it to be very busy. But we're going to see if we can at least knock this one out, and then we'll try to finish up everything before Raids 3 releases, which happens in just 3 days. So I need to hurry. Oh, and it's Sunday, not Saturday. There was a diary achievement for Arty or Western Provinces, can't remember which. I guess it must be Western Provinces because this is definitely not Arty. Anyway, okay, so let's use this on the magic logs to make a magic longbow unstrung. Use the flax on the spinning wheel for a bowstring, and finally the bowstring on the magic longbow should give me the diary task for the Western Provinces, very much not Ardoin. The Crazy Archaeologist has been conquered, and we are one step closer to getting the heck out of the wilderness forever. Let's go ahead and take a look at the combat achievements right now and make sure that we got everything knocked off. So if I pop this sucker open here and go to bosses, we should see 4 out of 4 for the Crazy Archaeologist. Tasks were pretty straightforward, just had to get the 25 KC and do 1 mechanical task, but we are all done. You might be wondering why I have a bunch of orange spices in my inventory, and the answer to that is that I'm tired of looking at my incomplete wilderness diary. I have 2 tasks left on the elite tier, and I want to knock them out before Raids 3 comes out. So the 2 tasks that I have left are fish and cook a dark crab in the resource area. You'll notice that I can do that one, but I'm going to need to +5 boost my cooking, and then smith a rune scimitar from scratch in the resource area, which again I can do, but I'm going to need a +3 boost on mining and a +5 boost on smithing. I'm going to try to tackle the fishing and cooking one first, but I need some dark fishing bait in order to fish the dark crabs, so that is going to be my prerequisite. All right, first KC, got my hands on some dark fishing bait. Let's go regroup. We're going to stew up and hope we can snag a +5 boost. Oh God. Okay, that scared the out of me. Now, one thing that's nice about the resource area is I'm pretty sure PKers can't log in inside, meaning they have to actually come in through the gate. So it should be pretty easy to escape if I absolutely had to, but I'm just looking for 1 dark crab, so I'm not too worried about it. There's my dark crab, and let's see if we can get a boost. Oh, I got a beginner scroll. Very cool, he said as he drops it to the floor. 90, yes, okay. Now we're talking elite task completed. That leaves us with just 1 left. I'm going to go ahead and rebag because I don't think I actually have time to attempt the second task, but no problem. 1 left to go. Oh my God, dude. This web is so sketchy. Oh my God. Here we go. Mining. Wait. Please tell me mining is orange spice. Mining is brown spice. Are you kidding me? Oh. There's the second of 2 rune ore that I need. I just have 1 +5 stew boost to go to smith this rune sim. Step 3. Step 4. Oh my gosh, I gotta hustle. Please do not misclick over here. Rune scimitar. Please let this be the end. I've been trying for this for like 5 hours. Oh my gosh. Okay. I have finished all elite tasks in the wilderness. That is the diary. Completely resolved. Oh, let's go claim the reward. Oh my gosh. Let me get this tier 4 sword, please, and the lamp to come along with it. Before I use this lamp, the last couple nights I've literally had nightmares that I have wiped because I left my piles too long for the wilderness. I mistimed it. UIM wipe dreams are a real thing, man. It used to be getting PK'd at the ditch, but since I've been grinding these wildy diaries and combat tasks in the wilderness, it's literally been nightmares about wiping. So as long as I don't wipe with my current piles, I think I am in the clear. I'm going to stick this on Herblore. That should be a cool 50k. And with that, I can take a break and go do something fun. Raids 3 drops in 2 days, so just 1 day to spare. I need a change of pace before that comes out. But the next time you see me, I will be grinding some purples at the new raid.